G'day guys, this is Rick again from Tips and Ratings. Just our ratings for today, February 21st, 2015. Betting today at Flemington and Rose Hill. In all, we turned over around 49 units and got about 49 back, so pretty much a break-even day. Some members reported a slight loss and some members reported a slight win. One member threw Sydney in the bin. He thinks it's rubbish and he won 17 units on Flemington, so I wish I was as smart as him. So just with race 2, we didn't bet in race 1, we passed. We marked Sir John Hawke with $16 and he was $31 top fluck, and even better, 34 best tote. Look, he came in with a pretty strong class figure, and I thought his last 400 metres first up was pretty strong, which suggested I could sort of rate him, you know, close to his best, and luckily enough that one came out well and he was good enough to overpower, turn it around, and it was a good result for us to start the day with a 30-1 winner that was pretty much a double overlay. So we won about 6 units on that race. On the race 2, and I took a set against White Whale here, marked at $8 and was obviously quite short, hard in the market around 220, and the best result here was set square, or I marked 340 and got out to $11, so we had it going for around 16 units, and probably just not suited by a bit of a wide run. Well, it was kept out of trouble, but yeah, just a little bit disappointing. We couldn't get that one over the line, and the winner came from actually behind set square and just mowed it down the middle for Moody. Sweet and Speedy, who we had at 40-1, and it was about 20-1. So we lost 3.8 on that race, but we had a couple of good results going there with Maastricht and set square. On to the next, and quite like the chances here of Chloe in Paris. It was rated $2.90, which was probably the shortest we had all day at Flemington, and we alerted this horse Wednesday or Thursday when I did the form, and there was plenty of $5 around, and after deductions, members reported a final price of $4.10 to $4.30 in that vicinity. We've used $4 for the point of this exercise, and look, she just sort of ran along really well and was too good. Speed ranking was number 1. We sort of referenced her second career start, so we did have to go back a bit, but her win at Moonee Valley first up sort of suggested that she was back in that type of form, which saw her run second to Anatina, who then obviously just missed out in a Group 1 behind Tiger Tease, I believe, up in Sydney. So pretty good form for what was a pretty weak fillies and mares race. On the race 5, and yeah, we sort of didn't really get too close here. Marino ran 3rd, marked in 20-1 and on at 40. So we had some big results going here. The map was always going to be a little bit of an issue with a few of the runners, and it sort of worked out that way with Gracious Prospect pretty much leading all the way, and we sort of didn't get close there and dropped 3.15. On to the next race, and was pretty keen on Wangina. I thought it was really a 3-horse race, and here's another early alert we sent out on Wednesday or Thursday, and obviously coming out of the Cox Plate, which was a really strong race. As we know, it's the Cox Plate. There was a few little queries on this horse. He hadn't trialled, and there was every chance that, with how he ran in the Cox Plate, he may not ever come back, but he certainly, he was just too good for them, and he might be back in very good order, I think. And Disposition and Stratum Star were the other 2 that were on. So we had basically 3 overlays here, and they were ranked 1, 2, and 4 on speed, and finished 1, 2, and 3. So the speed ratings really led us into the winners there. And yeah, we picked up 4.7 units on the race. Look, I probably kicking myself a little bit here. I might have been a bit too kind to Deep Field, but anyway, he was just a bit short for Deep Field, as was Lankan Rupee, and sort of played a bit of a long shot here on Waterman's Bay and Brazen Bow. I marked about 3.7, and he did really well, I thought, to run second. It was a pretty good effort, and unfortunately, he just wasn't good enough to beat Lankan Rupee, who was sensational. So not a great deal of damage there. We dropped 1.45 on the race. Onto the next, and I marked Hard Stride $6, basically second pick in our book. As you can see there, sort of second class, second speed, and he sort of has raced very well in the past, this horse, and has some quite strong figures. And I was quite surprised to see him get out to ESP at $10, and that was the top fluck, obviously. And members reported, a lot of members ended up getting, I think it was $12 or $13 best hope. So that was a really good result for us there. We bet 3.2 on the race and profited 5. And then finishing off the day, we sort of didn't get close here again. We did with any show, and it sort of wouldn't run straight over the concluding stages, which did end up quite costly. It was another one we alerted early in the week, 450 plus, and I think it was as low as 350 at some stage just before the race. And look, had she ran straight, she probably would have won. We had another big value runner in the race, Ariane, and the way the race panned out, just with the slow tempo, it just really didn't suit that horse. And we sort of got it wrong there with the winner. It was a little bit too good. So that sort of concludes Flemington. On to Sydney, and we backed 6 horses in the first race, and we didn't really make a lot of money, but we churned out a small profit, 1.8 units. We backed Just a Girl, and it ended up being pretty well backed. And it just sort of just got there. Kinsella missed the start. He was our top raider. He was hunted up and was quite poor. So probably a combination of the horse could be in the bin and he missed the start there. But we sort of broke even there. On to the next race, and had a Rohu on top. He was caught 3 wide, and he looked pretty flat. And the good result here was Fine Mist. Locked in $12. Some members got better, upwards of $13, $14 early. We've used 12 here. It was the number 1 speed rated horse. Just got there over the 1100. It doesn't want any further. But that was a really good result for us. So about a 7.25 unit return on that race. So as you can sort of see, we started really, really strong across the first few races in Sydney and Melbourne. Then on to race 3, Mark Catkin $3. I think she got out to around 250 or 260 or something like that. She's the dominant mare, and she was just a little bit too good. We backed Plucky Bell at a big price at 30s and thought we were half a chance halfway up the straight. But she just sort of wasn't quite good enough. And Lily Bolero was the other one that we sort of had shorter, and it was not good enough. It was quite disappointing. So we lost 1.77 on that race. We loaded up here. We had some really good results. Had a really good result going with Cross of Gold. Nothing like Blooper. A couple out in odds and some good, I guess, mid-range returns. With Tales of Grim and Woodbine, who ended up getting out to $7. Mohican, I thought, got there in the end, but he was just pipped by San Diego, so I actually jumped the gun and put the 1 in, but had to change it, which was a bit of a spew because we dropped 4.58 on that race and lost that in a close photo. And this was the start of some seconds for us, which was evident earlier also at Flemington, with Set Square being the start of a run there of seconds. In race 4 in Sydney, I just passed. I didn't really know much. I knew what I knew, but didn't have a lot of confidence, so I passed in that. Backed a handful of horses here, outlaid 3.21 units, and look, I thought we're looking pretty good, with about 100 metres to go. And when Hello Crown got buffeted on the turn, but he was a bit too good, that fella, and he fought back and knocked us off. I sort of thought Sway Nest loomed up well, but he just sort of didn't finish off, and Shooting the Wind just died on his run. Panzer Division I had as the second raider there, but he he was sort of unwanted and just continued to blow. Worked over and really did nothing. So we lost 3.2 on that race. On the race 7 in Sydney, and we were on Burbro, and again he looked like he was going to win, and he just missed out. Unfortunately, we had the third horse, Diametric, also, who was value in our book, and we were monitoring very closely. Greatwood, a couple of members snagged 850 at the death with a couple of agencies, but personally I didn't, and a majority of members didn't either, so it goes in as a losing race, and we lose 3.66, and in the last, Devonshire Duke's a horse that goes quite well at times, but I just thought after its first up run it may not be back, but he sort of proved us wrong. We didn't really get close here. Define ran fourth up the inside. I think it was up the inside, and that was about it. It was a bit of a wipeout the second half of the card in Sydney for us, and the other member that won 17 units was probably we've been wiped out the last 3 or 4. That's what happened. But a couple of those races were obviously beaten narrowly. We didn't bet anywhere else today. We just focused on Melbourne and Sydney, and I think that the form should hold up quite well, and it looks pretty good. So that's our wrap for today, and we'll be back betting on Wednesday next week. We'll be having a day off the bets on Tuesday just for a freshen up, and we'll see you then. Thank you.